What's going on, people? My name is Wade, and I take pictures and I put them on the internet. Today, we have a film roll review. As I've been mentioning, I've been shooting a lot in film lately, and I've been really enjoying the process. One thing that I noticed with this specific roll, this is my second roll of film that I got back. I had 20 plus images that I thought were like good enough to keep, which is awesome. It's great. I'm learning a lot of really important things when it comes to the like being selective with my shots, not pulling the trigger so quickly. Even though I just put up a vlog that literally said there's nothing to shoot. That day, I'm actually convinced, looking back on it, that there actually wasn't much to shoot, or I wasn't looking at things with the right frame of mind. I don't know how you want to put it, but like the next day, I got a couple of really good shots. Today, what we're going over is the roll of film that I just got back. I have 22 images from a 36 roll, 36 exposure roll that I'm going to show you guys a little bit. I'm going to give you some how do you want to put it? Like a teaser. I'm working on my first photo book, and I don't know if I've mentioned this on the channel before, but my day job is I'm a professional dog trainer. I work with aggressive, reactive dogs. This is kind of my specialty. It's my thing. This is how I make my income. I don't make my income through photography. I make my income through dogs. And I had the idea of documenting some of the dogs' journeys that's going through my training programs right now. And I thought it might be a really cool idea, a really cool thing to do. So some of the images in this roll are some of the dogs in my programs, and I'll briefly talk about them. And some of them are just like pictures of my kid. And as I mentioned in one of my, I think it was episode 3 of the vlog, I over the last couple of days, negative space has been like on my brain. And there's a couple of shots in here that I think are really good negative space shots. I actually really like them. A couple of them I'm going to print out. So cool, let's get into it. The first shot is, this is my son Brennan, and this big thing he is, what's going on here? Stop it. Oh, okay, that's why. That's my son Brennan, and a moose on downtown Kingston. He wanted to hug the moose. It was very cute. Next one, this is one of the dogs that I'm working in my programs right now. The owners, Rory and John, are really great people. I've worked with other members of their family as well, so I'm becoming like the family dog trainer for all their dogs, which is really cool. Just a picture of my kid on grandma's tablet. This was kind of a cool shot. This guy saw me walking around downtown with my Minolta, and I had my headphones in at the time, and he drove by and he said, "Did you get a picture?" And I said, "No, do it again." So he did it again, and I got the picture. I remember when he did this, I thought he got a little higher than this, but it turns out he didn't. So yeah, I'm going to send him a copy of that. This one was kind of cool. I saw this guy coming from quite a ways away, and I saw the kind of congregation of pigeons. You can see, Jesus, what is going on here? A little congregation of pigeons here. And my thought was like, cool, this guy's going to walk by, he's going to startle the pigeons, pigeons are going to fly, it's going to be a really cool shot. And instead, one lonely pigeon took off. Right there, you see that pigeon? one pigeon took off. I kind of like the shot still, because it's not what you would expect, but not exactly what I had in my mind. Kind of outside of my circumstances, outside of my control. The only way I could have made that play out exactly the way I wanted to is if I had like a firecracker and I hooked it across the road and scared the piss out of the pigeons. Couple of girls walking down a path. Like I said, I've been experimenting a lot with negative space, and this shot I think this shot would have been much better in broad daylight or when the sun was a little bit lower down, so I could have got some elongated shadows. I don't mind the shot, but it's not one of my favorites. This is kind of a negative space shot that I kind of liked. The water on the ground, the peace and love. This is something I mentioned in episode 3. I think I actually talked about this shot. I love this, and I love the negative space. I love the thought behind the image. It's a simplistic shot, but I like it. I like what it stands for. It's all good. There's another one of the dogs in my training program. This dog is training with me for dog aggression. He's gotten in a couple dog fights, and the human he's leaning against is his owner's girlfriend, who has a dog who they're attempting to integrate into their household. So we're laying some foundation with this pup first. This dog's name's Bo. We're laying some foundation with Bo to get him following his human's lead a little bit better before we start bringing another dog into the mix, which is at first going to be my dog because he's had experience with dogs like Bo before. Kind of in the middle of a training session, she called him over, gave him some love. It was a good moment. Still captured it. There's another one of Bo and his human Kyle later on. These next 2 photos are kind of, again, negative space ideas that I've been playing with. I really like the diagonal shadows. I think I really... I just want to see what it looks like. High contrast black and white. It might have looked better in black and white. I'm not really sure. But I like this image. This is taken from the balcony of my parents' apartment. Couple of people sitting there chatting in the parking lot. So I cropped off the visual of the car, cropped off the entrance to the building, which is like right down here, and made this shot. I liked this shot until I had the opportunity to get this shot, which I actually like a whole lot more. You don't barely see the lines at all. Like there's one little line right there. You're naturally drawn to this point in the picture first, which kind of helps you move your way through the image. Again, the diagonal lines, the shadows from the trees, the shadow from the woman. I intentionally shot it while her legs were open, like mid-stride, so I could get the ever so subtle triangle formed by her shadow and her legs and her feet. I like this shot. I really like this shot. I think this is a shot I'm probably going to end up printing. I'm not really sure what this woman was doing, but I love the lines around this, all the lines coming around this area. Again, probably not a keeper shot, but it was a good exercise in getting focus really fast and pulling the trigger on something that I really liked. So, and this was, I think this was after like a while of not shooting anything too. So, these next 3 images are, it's a client of mine who I haven't seen for a year and a half and just called me to brush up on some things, get some things squared away. I'm gonna drop this. Oh God. She just called me to have some things polished and whatnot with her dog. Her dog's doing really well. Just a couple of questions, kind of bridging the gap a little bit. This was a shot inside of their apartment where the dog was kind of cuddling up to her. It's a good shot. Showing off her stay in the park. This dog actually wasn't staying very well at all. The dog thought because I was there it could jerk off, which is really funny. But that's a cool shot with the river just behind the dog. And then another one, focus on the dog. Human's kind of blurry in the foreground. Again, another stay shot. I like this picture. So there's a skating rink in Kingston, and because the weather's been so warm, like it's beginning of March, and the weather's been unseasonably warm, and so this is them kind of taking down the rink. They melt it using water, which is really ironic because today and yesterday were both sub-zero days. They could have easily kept the rink open. This shot's not a... When I shot it, I had the idea of getting the guy, his assistant, the water, the reflection, and I thought it would all work really well together. I think it would have worked better without the grandstands folded up in the background. Upon review, I don't know if I really like this shot. Any shots that I say I don't like and you guys actually like, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear your opinion on the shots. Dude reading. Again, another experimentation in negative space. I think I should have cropped higher up to get less of this cobblestone area. Like maybe crop it like here, the bottom of the frame right there. But didn't play it exactly. Again, didn't play it exactly the way I wanted to. I am proud of the fact that this is. Stupid things like this make me proud. This is uncropped. I haven't touched it, and this is like super straight. This is super straight. I like when I get things good right out of the camera. Another shot of Bo and his human doing some long line work, doing some recall work. At some point during this session, he actually took off after a neighbor, took the line right out of his human's hand, and we called him back, and he responded perfectly. It was a really great moment. This kid was dribbling a basketball out front of my parents' apartment, and he had some pretty good moves on him for a kid his age. So I told him do a trick, and he started dribbling through his legs, and I got this shot. The focus isn't perfect, right? So like the one thing you'll notice is like he's out of focus, yet somehow it adds to the shot because the shoe is pinned. I kind of like this shot. This shot is not historically like a good shot, but the blurry ball, the blurry head, the shoes, it's almost like an old Nike ad. I'm not insinuating that my shots are commercial value. This is, by all measurable standards, not a fantastic shot, but I like it. Another negative space shot, except it looked a lot better through my eyes than it does now. But like there's a woman walking her 3 dogs through the little park in front of my parents' house. And I like the shadows. I like the fact that it's sleepy time. When I was looking at the shot, like looking at the frame through my eyes, I saw each individual dog and her shadow in the negative space. And then when I took the shot, I realized you can't barely see the dogs at all because they're 3 really tiny dogs. Graffiti in negative space. I kind of like this shot. It's simple. I don't know what SK stands for, but I kind of like it. This woman was wearing a very fluffy hat, and I liked that the red of the Shoppers Drug Mart bag, the red of the lights, the yellow pattern, the fluffy hair. There's a lot in this photo that caught my eye, so I took it. And I think I was explaining to my mom how I get close to people without them really noticing. And there's another photo in this series with her further away, and then when we got stopped together at the light, I took this picture, and she didn't even really flinch. Last photo of the series is a dog that I started training not too long ago. His name is Mo, and Mo is food aggressive, so we'll guard his food bowl, guard his food, stuff like that. This session that we actually just did today was done with me standing 3 feet away from his food dish. We had no issues. He was a little apprehensive, but he did really well. He's making really good progress. Anyways, that is the... I don't know what to call these episodes, like the film review, like this week in film. I don't know. This was my last. These were the keepers, the good ones of my last 36 exposure roll. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what one your favorite shot is. I'd love to hear the opinion of somebody that's not me, because these are all my babies, right? These are all like, I'm biased. I'd love to hear which ones other people actually like, so I have a better idea of what other people like and not just what I like. I mean, ultimately when I do photography, it's for me. So I have a market of one when it comes to selling my art. But I'm always curious to know. You can give me feedback if you want. Can't promise you I'm going to take it. Like if it's feedback that's constructive, then I'll probably take it. But if it's like, oh, you should have did this, and it's like a matter of artistic expression, I'm probably just going to thank you for your comment and move along. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. I gotta go wake my kid up, or he's gonna end up staying up all night. Talk to you soon. Oh, great vlog coming soon. Tomorrow I am shadowing and helping a friend of mine who's a naturopathic doctor. She's speaking. I'm doing some videography, some photography, and stuff like that. It's gonna be a big day. It's gonna be a good day, and I think it's gonna make for a good vlog. So stay tuned. Bye.